1 Kings chapter 13. A man of God from Judah. A man of God came out of Judah following a command of the Lord, and he arrived at Bethel while Jeroboam was standing by the altar to burn incense. The man shouted, cursing the altar, O altar, altar, thou sayest the Lord, there shall be born to the family of David a son by the name of Josiah. He shall sacrifice on you the priests of the high places who burn incense on you, and human bones shall be burned on you. At the same time the man of God gave a sign. He said, This is the proof that the Lord has spoken. The altar shall be torn down, and the ashes on it shall be scattered. When the king heard the man of God shouting and cursing the altar of Bethel, he stretched out his hand from the altar and said, Arrest him. Immediately the hand which he pointed out against the man dried up, and he could not draw it back to himself. The altar itself crumbled, and the ashes on it were scattered, according to the sign that had been given. And so the king said to the man of God, Entreat the favor of the Lord your God, and pray for me, so that my hand may be restored. The man of God entreated the Lord, and the king's hand was restored as it had been before. The king then said to the man of God, Come home with me and refresh yourself. I will give you a reward. But the man of God answered the king, Even if you give me half your kingdom, I will not go in with you, nor will I eat or drink in this place, for this was commanded me by the Lord. He precisely said to me, You shall neither eat bread nor drink water, nor return by the way you came. So the man of God did not return by the way he had come to Bethel, but took another way. Now there was an old prophet living in Bethel, and his sons came to tell him what the man of God had done on that day in Bethel, and everything he had said to the king. Their father then asked them, Which way did he go? And they showed him which way the man of God from Judah had taken. He then said to his sons, Saddle the ass for me. They did so. He mounted the ass and went after the man of God, whom he found sitting under an oak. He asked him, Are you the man of God who came from Judah? I am, he said. He said to him, Come home with me and eat bread. The prophet from Judah answered, I may neither return nor go in with you, nor will I eat or drink with you in this place. For this was the command of the Lord, You shall neither eat bread nor drink water there, nor shall you return by the way you came. But the old prophet from Bethel said to him, I am also a prophet as you are, and an angel told me on behalf of the Lord, Bring him back with you into your house, that he may eat bread and drink water. The old prophet, in fact, was lying, and so the man of God went back with him and ate and drank in his house. As they sat at table, the word of the Lord came to the prophet who had brought him back, and he said in a loud voice to the man of God who came from Judah, Thus says the Lord, You have disobeyed me and have not observed the command I gave you. Instead, you have come back and eaten and drunk, although I told you not to eat bread or drink water. Because of this, your body shall not be laid in the tomb of your fathers. After he had eaten and drunk, the old prophet who had brought him back saddled the ass for him, and the prophet from Judah went away. But the lion met him on the road and killed him. His body was thrown on the road, with both the ass and the lion standing beside it. People who passed by saw the body thrown on the road with the lion standing by, and they reported this in the city where the old prophet lived. When the prophet heard of this, he said, It is the man of God who disobeyed the word of the Lord. The Lord has delivered him to the lion, which has torn him and slain him, just as the Lord had told him. Then he said to his sons, Saddle the ass for me. They saddled it, and he went and found the body thrown on the road, with the ass and the lion standing beside it. The lion had neither eaten the body nor torn the ass. And so the prophet took up the body of the man of God, laid it on the ass, and brought it back to the city to mourn and to bury him. He laid the body in his own grave, and they mourned over him with a lament, "Alas, my brother." After that, the old prophet said to his sons, "When I die, bury me in the grave where the man of God is buried, and lay my bones beside his bones." For everything is said at the Lord's command, cursing the altar in Bethel, and all the sanctuaries of the high places in the cities of Samaria will be fulfilled. After this, however, Jeroboam did not abstain from doing evil. Instead, he made priests for the high places from among the people. He consecrated anyone who wanted to be a priest for the high places, and this became the sin of the family of Jeroboam, for which it was to be cut off and destroyed from the face of the earth. 1 Kings chapter 14. Ahijah's prophecy against Jeroboam. At that time Abijah son of Jeroboam fell ill. So the king told his wife, "Go disguise yourself, so that no one may recognize you as Jeroboam's wife. Go to Shiloh, where you will find Ahijah the prophet, who foretold that I would be king over these people. Take with you 10 loaves, a few cakes, and a jar of honey. Enter his house, and he will tell you what shall happen to the child." Jeroboam's wife did as she was told and left for Shiloh. She entered the house of Ahijah, who was now so old that he could not see. But the Lord had told Ahijah, "Jeroboam's wife is coming to consult you about a sick son, and this is what you must tell her. She will be coming in disguise." And so when Ahijah heard the sound of footsteps as she entered the door, he said, "Come in, wife of Jeroboam. Why have you disguised yourself? I have been told to give you unpleasant news. Go therefore and tell Jeroboam, 'This is the message of the Lord, the God of Israel. I made you rise from the midst of the people and established you as the leader of Israel. I tore the kingdom away from David's family to give it to you. Yet you have not been like my servant David, who kept my commands and followed me with his whole heart, doing only what was pleasing to me. You have done worse than anyone before. You have made me angry with your strange gods and the images you have made, and you have forsaken me. Therefore I will bring disaster on the family of Jeroboam. I will cut off every male in Jeroboam's line, whether slave or free man in Israel, and I will wipe out the descendants of Jeroboam just as they wipe out the dung till all is gone. Anyone belonging to Jeroboam who dies in the city will be devoured by dogs. Anyone who dies in the field will be devoured by the birds of the sky. So the Lord has spoken. Leave now and go back home. As soon as you enter the city, the child will die. All Israel will mourn for him and bury him. He alone of Jeroboam's line will be buried, for in him alone, in the house of Jeroboam, has the Lord, the God of Israel, found something good. The Lord will raise up for himself a king over Israel. It is he who will destroy Jeroboam's family. The Lord will strike Israel like a reed tossed about in the water, and root them out from this good land which he gave to their ancestors. He will scatter them beyond the river Euphrates, because they provoked him to anger with the sacred poles they set up. The Lord will scatter Israel because of the sins Jeroboam has committed, and by which he dragged Israel into sin. So Jeroboam's wife went home on her arrival at Tirzah, and as soon as she crossed the threshold of her house, the child died. The child was buried, and all Israel mourned for him, just as the Lord had spoken through his servants the prophet Ahijah. The rest of the acts of Jeroboam, his achievements in war and his reign, are recorded in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Jeroboam reigned for 22 years. When he rested with his fathers, his son Nadab succeeded him as king. Psalm 139. The all-knowing God. O Lord, you have examined me and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You discern my thoughts from afar. You observe my activities in times of rest. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is formed in my mouth, you know it entirely, O Lord. From front to back you hedge me round, shielding me with your protecting hand. Such marvels are beyond me, too lofty for me to attain. Where else could I go from your spirit? Where could I flee from your presence? You are there if I ascend the heavens, if you are there if I descend to the other world. You are there if I descend to the underworld. If I ride on the wings of the dawn and settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand shall guide me and your right hand shall hold me safely. Shall I say, let darkness hide me, and light become night around me? But darkness is not dark for you, and night for you is as bright as the day. It was you who formed my innermost and knit me together in my mother's womb. I thank you for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. All your works are wonderful. I know that very well. My every bone was known to you when I was being formed in secret, fashioned in the depths of the earth. Before I took shape, your eyes saw me, and before any one of my days came to be, they were written down in your book. How far beyond my grasp are your thoughts, O God? How countless is their number? If I tried to count them, they would outnumber the sands. To finish, I must be eternal like you. If only you would slay the wicked, O God, and would drive away from me all the bloodthirsty. Against you they speak wickedly. Your foes blaspheme your name. I hate those who hate you, O Lord, and loathe those who defy you. I hate and abhor them, and I consider them as my foes. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See if my steps have gone astray, and lead me in your eternal paths. John chapter 9, verse 1 to 23. The cure of a man born blind. As Jesus walked along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Master, why was this man born blind? Because of his own sins or those of his parents? Jesus answered, neither his own sins nor those of his parents. He was born blind so that God's work might be revealed to him. While it is day, we must do the work of the one who sent me. For the night will come when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. As Jesus said this, he spat on the ground and made clay with the spittle and rubbed it on the eyes of the blind man. Then he said, Go and wash in the pool of Siloam. This name means sent. So he went and washed and came back able to see. His neighbors and all the people who used to see him begging said, Is not this the man who used to sit here and beg? Some said, It is the one. Others said, Nobody looks like him. But the man himself said, I am the one. Then they asked, How is it that your eyes were opened? And he answered, The man called Jesus made clay and put it on my eyes and said to me, Go to Siloam and wash. So I went and washed, and then I could see. They asked, Where is he? The man answered, I do not know. The people brought to the Pharisees the man who had been blind. Now it was a Sabbath day when Jesus made clay and opened his eyes. So the Pharisees asked him again, How did you recover your sight? And he said once more, He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I see. Some of the Pharisees said, This man is not from God, for he works on the Sabbath. But others wondered, How can a sinner perform such miraculous signs? So they were divided, and they questioned the blind man again. What do you think of this man who opened your eyes? And he answered, He is a prophet. After all this, the Jews refused to believe that the man had been blind, and had recovered his sight. So they called his parents and asked him, "Is this your son? You say that he was born blind. How is it that he now sees?" The parents answered, "We know he is our son, and we know he was born blind. But how it is that he now sees, we do not know. Neither do we know who opened his eyes. Ask him. He is old enough. Let him speak for himself." The parents said this because they feared the Jews, who had already agreed that whoever confessed Jesus to be the Messiah was to be put to death was to be put out of the synagogue. That is why his parents said, "He is old enough, ask him."